Hey everybody, and welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today we're going to continue volume 16, episode 5 of my Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac scrapbooks. And we're kind of going to round up Trouble in Shangri-La, but I know that we're going to kind of come back to a couple pieces possibly in the next episode or couple, because I know that I have some items here from concerts I'd attended during Trouble in Shangri-La, but I can't find too many of my photos. And I've actually been searching for a lot of photos that I took at a couple of shows, special shows, the regular concert, and then things I have for like Say You Will, because we're kind of going to get into Say You Will era not too long from now. So I'm going to start with some stuff, and we're going to proceed with that, but we might round back a little bit. But the first thing I wanted to share was kind of a funny story. I don't know if you're like me, but I'm just the kind of person who, when I see something at a venue, like a little sign or a little poster with Stevie or Fleetwood Mac on it, or pretty much any artist I'm into, but of course, really Stevie and Fleetwood Mac, I'll take that thing down off the wall. If there's just something, or if there's like the beverage cup, or, there's a sign at the venue and it's a Stevie Nicks drink, I have to take a picture of it, but there's a little flyer or poster for it, I'll take that down off the wall. And it's kind of dumb, but it's ephemera, and it's little collectibles and little pieces that I just like. I like putting it in the scrapbook. It's kind of dumb and it's kind of lame, but that's who I am. And one of my favorite pieces is this one right here. And it was a story. My mom and I had been to Trouble in Shangri-La concert in Concord, California. And she's a little bit disabled. And we had to take an elevator. She had like her walker or cane or something like that. And so we got escorted in an elevator that's not exactly backstage, but it kind of takes you a little bit down. And when we got in the elevator, I saw a sign up on the elevator wall that had all the passes for, just a black and white with all the passes for the tour. And I was just about to grab that. And right when I was about to do that, I look up and I see the lady who's, kind of manning the elevator and making sure people just go up and down and out, not in, and hang around and stuff, was kind of looking at me and kind of giving me a funny look. And I said, "Oh, can I have this piece of paper here? The show's over and, everybody's leaving and stuff like that." And she just kind of looked at me like, "You're weird, but sure," and she, kind of looked around. Other people could hear us in the elevator, but, next thing I know, she had taken it down and she handed me the piece of paper. And it's just a dumb little thing I like having. And this is the little piece of paper here. And that is, again, from Concord, California. And it's showing all the passes that would be used that night. It's cool that it has the date. It's just a little Xerox, but it has the little show time and all that kind of stuff. And I think it was that John Gregory was, I guess, the opening act for that tour. To be honest, I don't even remember who that is. And then there was, samples were, certain places where they could be, certain places, couldn't go anywhere without being escorted. No, VIP, which is this pass right here, VIP lemon, no escorting. And then it says like patio only anytime. I don't know what that means. These passes are foil. Right here, they're called foil, but sometimes they're called holographic passes. But again, this one is these two really cool passes, and this one is right here. And you can kind of see how it's iridescent and cool like that. And then I'd actually started this video and I realized that my microphone was gone, and I had taken this page out to take this one to show you guys. This one is this one right here. And again, you can see how pretty and shiny it is. But what I was going to note is that I've been backstage once at a show. These are not ones I got from being backstage or anything like that. My backstage time happened once during, I think, Say You Will. And it was very uneventful being backstage. It was, you'll hear that story sometime. But most passes, even if they have the foil or holographic, sometimes they'll still have like a little sticker on it, like a little dot or something. That means even if you have this pass, you still have to be escorted. And the people with a little dot or a little additional star or something, some little mark on their pass or something on the back maybe, are the ones who are designated to escort people, backstage and stuff. So it's usually going to be a band member or, somebody from the tech crew, somebody of Stevie's band, not somebody from the venue, generally. I don't know that that's accurate all the time, but that's just from my experience. And then, to show you this, I had taken this one off, taken apart here. I was earlier getting the glue off here, but this again is the other pass, real pretty and shiny. And then this is really cool because it has the watermark on the back. And then obviously somebody's name is usually here. And sometimes it's on here and you can kind of like dry erase it. This one, it's odd that there is nobody's name. I didn't check this one to see if there was. I don't think that there is. Sometimes I've had ones that have names on the back, and I know that those people probably shouldn't have gotten rid of them. Not that they personally were the ones who did. Maybe they lost it. Somebody else got a hold of it. I don't know, and I don't care because they're just passes. They're keepsakes for me. But yeah, I've seen one, or I've seen people. The person's name on the back here, and it's all blacked out. There's tape over it or something. So this one's kind of cool. It'd kind of be cooler if it had somebody's name on it, even if it was etched out, just because I know it would be used. It's unusual to receive one that has nothing on there, unless, again, they had kind of that dry erase. And with this little blemish here, I kind of can't help but wonder if there was something at one time or another, or maybe another piece of tape with somebody's name. Who knows? So anyway, so those are the passes here. And then you have the working and the guest, and those are here. So working, and then guest could be photo, could be VIP. So the kind of VIP pass I got was something like this. It just gets you into what's called a green room, which I'm sure you guys all know what that is. The room I got into was filled with stale M&Ms, peanut M&Ms, no less, and lukewarm beverages, and nothing, no entertainment, no decoration. I mean, jack squat, nothing. And you had to wait for a band member to come in and get you to take you anywhere else in the venue. So, yeah, that was kind of funny. And that's the kind of pass I did have once upon a time. It didn't say VIP, it was just guest, just plain old guest. And so, yeah, you'll see that in another future episode. So that was the first cool part of my nice little keepsake and a little piece of my, scrapbook stuff. And then on the back here, I do have the shows. This one was somebody gave this to me. It was really cool. This was a one-off House of Blues show. I think June 11, 2001. I don't know if this was something she did live. I think it is, but I just can't recall because it's nothing I would have attended or been a part of, but somebody sent me this pass, which was just really unique and different. These are photos from the tour, but again, not mine. I have some, and they're not great, but there's some that are kind of cool, but they're not really great. But then these are so this would be, let's see, this would be my ticket here. And this is my ticket from August 14th at the Shoreline. And then this was just a cool little excerpt of a review of the album from the Fresno Bee, which is kind of out, it's in California, but yeah. And Fresno's not really a great city. I have some family there. So that's cool for that, but otherwise, and this paper also gave the album a C-. So Fresno, who cares? Who cares? We're not really big fans of Fresno. So that is that here. Now moving on, it's so funny because I was going back and forth with the Dean Carr pictures that I had earlier, and here again I have a whole bunch more. And these pictures, unfortunately, I did not buy these from Dean. This came from somebody else who sent me basically their collection, their scrapbook collection, or just they had a whole bunch of odds and ends, loose. Some of it scrapbook, but not with any rhyme or reason to it. And it looks like they might have bought these pictures from Dean or copied them. I'm not entirely sure, so I apologize, Dean, if you're out there, which I know he won't be. But I really, really love this page, and these were kind of behind the scenes photos. And I really liked the aesthetic. I just really liked how I'd done it kind of in this kind of a moss green, gray, and black. It just kind of, to me, went with the filming. But here, some of these pictures are online, so it's not like they're really rare or anything like that. But Dean does sell them, as a lot. And I've trimmed a lot of them down to just kind of focus on the Stevie parts. Here's Dean here, I think. Yeah. Again, that one's really pretty. So just some cool little behind the scenes. And then again, with the aesthetic, and I talk about my wonderful scrapbook job, this page was really pretty too. I really liked how this one came out how it looked, is what I meant to say. A little bit more behind the scenes. This was kind of cool, and I trimmed it down, but it's like you can see her in the background kind of, but then somebody's like looking at the monitor. So they like take a picture, so she's kind of blurred out in the back. I just thought that was a really cool shot. It doesn't matter that she's not super clear. It's just, kind of a in the works kind of deal. Again, you can see her in the camera, but then here. Obviously from the everyday video. I guess I should go without saying, but just in case. So that was some more Dean Carr stuff that I had. And then continuing on with his amazing work. I mean, my God, look at this. It's so pretty. And then I talked about, he had a couple different things that were like, I forget what he calls them. They were kind of like the little guide that you would use to make the video shoot, and not the kind of the schedule. I have more. There's another piece somewhere, and it kind of is the schedule, what time people come in and stuff like this. But I forget what the proper term for this. It says video treatment here, but I think anyway, it doesn't matter. This was something that he sent to me and was signed by him. And this is kind of like, you know, the little book of, you know, who's in charge of it. Just like, kind of like getting a script almost. Like you come to work and, you know, if you were a part of this, you would get this just to know your times and places and who all would be with you. And then these are some more pictures from that bunch that I showed earlier. And then kind of with this, the last piece goes, and then this was really hard because again, I had all these Stevie pictures and she's so tiny, but I kind of thought it looked cool. I kind of think it looks, you don't quite realize it's her until you get close up, but it just kind of looks like a border of things. But again, this is a video treatment. It talks about kind of the storyline, a little outline of the work, and just, you know, an opportunity to work with Stevie motivates me to draw upon the depth of my cinematic photographic instincts and create a piece that is memorable, dramatic, and hauntingly beautiful, which is so apropos. So again, this is from Dean, and then here are the little pictures above it. It's almost like she's reading in between the pages. I just thought that looked really cool. So a little bit of a, you know, quicker video, but that's okay. We're getting near the holidays. I just can't believe it's literally right around the corner. And I have some little fun stuff, little tidbits to share with you pertaining to Christmas. And so I got those coming up pretty soon. Again, we might kind of double back on the next video, or maybe it'll be the holiday videos first. I'm not too sure. Come back and you'll be surprised just like I'll be. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Everybody have a great night. Bye.